Hello friends, and welcome to another video. I'm sorry I've been a little bit off my vlog game. I don't think it's been too long since I uploaded, but I brought this up in other vlogs where I'm like, I feel like every time I vlog, it's like literally the same thing, and I've done so many full days of eating. Just as far as like prep things go, I will do an update very soon, but like really not much has changed in terms of macros or anything like that. So I just don't feel like there's a ton for me to share. But you can probably tell from the title of this video that I am going to record a Q&A. And there's this new feature on Instagram that allows you to ask questions, like you guys to ask me questions. And I've been answering a lot of questions on there, but I was like, this could be a really fun YouTube video. So I asked on my Instagram story, which if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should, for you guys to ask me questions, fitness related, prep related, just me related. And so this is probably gonna have to be 2 videos because I got a decent amount of questions, and they're both just gonna be a mix of like me things and fitness things. Sometimes I do like a fitness Q&A and like a regular Q&A, but I just thought we'd kind of like keep it all mixed. So with that, I have to leave to meet a friend at the gym in like 30 minutes. So we're just gonna see how far I get, but let's get rolling. So I'm literally just going to start from the top and we will see how far we get. First question I got was fave leggings brand, and mine will forever and always be Lululemon, in particular the Align pants, which is what I am wearing right now. They literally, like, there's no material that compares to them. I go through phases where other brands will send me leggings or I'll get them, and I always like wear them a couple times, like they're cute for a few pictures or whatever, and then I go back to wearing these just because they are so comfortable. It feels like you are not wearing pants. They're worth extra money. I have Lulu leggings that I've had for literally like 3 or 4 years. Next question. Do you think your bulking / weight gain contributed to recovery mentally? So for those of you who don't know, which I'm assuming most of you do know, before this prep I took 2 years to grow. In total, I think I gained like 35 pounds throughout those 2 years, and that's a huge contributor, in my opinion, to, well, it is the reason I look the way I look, right? I'm still 9 weeks out and I weigh like almost 20 more pounds than I did when I decided I wanted to compete and started bulking for it. And I think, yes, 100%, both just in terms of actually gaining the weight. I think to recover, you have to go through a phase where you gain weight. Whether or not you are someone who is super underweight or not, it is something that learning to appreciate your body at every phase is so important. And I can honestly say that I do not think of myself as a person any differently weight than I do at a lower weight, or vice versa. I think also just in terms of I can 100% say like I have 0 eating disorder related thoughts. And at the height of my bulk, I had 0 eating disorder thoughts. And at the beginning of my bulking phase, I definitely did. Now, I didn't act on them, and that was the thing. Like, if coach told me to eat more, I ate more, 0 questions asked. I hit my macros, whatever. I pushed myself. I was at a point where I was able to push myself to not track if I knew that it was a time that it wasn't appropriate. I challenged myself with my free meals and things like that. And it was doing all that that made it easier, right? Like, I get questions all the time about like, how did you recover? How did you get fully recovered? Whenever I bring up the fact that I'm like, there's like literally 0 part of me that relates to that eating disorder Lexi. And the only answer I can give, and I feel like an asshole saying it, is I just freaking did it. And you just have to do it. And there's always, with anyone who I know who has recovered or is in the process of recovery, the only way to do it is something clicks and you're like, even though this is hard, I'm gonna do it anyways. And that's the point that I was at when I started my bulk, and then throughout it, just continuing to act on that and do stuff even though it was hard. That's what made it become easy and second nature, if that makes sense. How tall am I? I am 5'5.5". I actually think I might be 5'6", but we'll go with 5'5.5" just to be safe. Was I afraid of judgment when I decided to start my Instagram or YouTube channel? So my Instagram, yes, it was actually a secret for a really long time. It started as an eating disorder recovery account where I literally just posted my food. Kind of just to hold myself accountable. There was like an eating disorder recovery community on there. And then I started getting into lifting, which I wasn't when I started recovering. And that was just because like cardio and stuff was a big part of my eating disorder, and throughout school, and when I played sports, I always loved lifting. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna try doing that and like focus on getting strong. And I started seeing other people like on Instagram who lifted and like tracked macros and whatever. And so I started getting to that. And like my Instagram has always just been like my life, like whatever I'm up to, whether that is just recovering from an eating disorder or that is like now I like don't talk about eating disorders because I just like don't think about it. Just now it's like prep and like me coaching full time and whatever. It's just like it's always been my life. But at the beginning, my Instagram was a secret. I didn't tell anyone at school. I had a different, like, my personal account, and my eating disorder was, like, literally I would just, like, follow other people and kind of just, like, ghost follow them. Like, I don't think I interacted with anyone. And then people just started finding out as my account grew, and it was always just, like, super awkward when someone at school would be like, oh, like, I follow you on Instagram, and I was like, you know way too much about me. But, when my YouTube channel, by the time that started, I did not care. I didn't really like bring my camera to school or anything like that. But by that time I was kind of at a point where I was like, this is what I do, YOLO. It was definitely weird like carrying a camera in public and stuff the first few times. I was really weird about filming at the gym for a really long time. But it's one of those things where you just like do it and it gets easier with time, I guess. Okay, next question, and this is more of like a fitness question. Is why are carbs set so high in a bulk if fat doesn't spike insulin? And that signals nutrients to go to fat cells. So, there are two parts to this question. The first one I want to cover is that insulin signals nutrients to go to fat cells. Because what signals nutrients to go to fat cells is being in a surplus. Yes, if you are in a surplus of carbs, those excess carbs will be shuttled to fat cells. But if you're not in a surplus, they will be shuttled to muscles throughout your body for energy, etc. That like really, really gets under my skin because you could be on a vegan, I know there's like a high carb, low fat diet, and you're not gonna be like fat, right? If you are in a surplus of carbs, yes, you will. Now, it is true that carbs and somewhat protein spike insulin. They cause insulin release, and fat does not. So, if you're in a surplus of fat, surplus of protein, surplus of carbs, the nutrients are going to be shuttled to fat cells. For me as a coach, when someone's in a surplus, I keep fat pretty high too. I don't do just super high carb, low fat. I do moderate carb, moderate fat, moderate protein, I guess, like in the grand scheme of things. Now, all those macros will be high if you're in a surplus, but I don't keep fat low. And fat does just have a lot of benefits in terms of digestive health, hormone health, digesting fat-soluble vitamins. Now, the reason any physique athlete will use a lot of carbs is because carbs are what fill out your muscles with glycogen. Carbohydrates pull water into your muscles to help them fill out, right? So that's why, like a physique athlete like myself, we have high carb days, because if your body is just getting fat, you're gonna look really what people call flat, which basically makes you look like you don't have a lot of muscle. You kind of look chubbier. It's harder to engage your muscles because those glycogen stores aren't full. So there's an aesthetic effect of carbohydrates, and also it just is your body's first source of energy, if that makes sense. How often do I do HIIT? So my HIIT bike sprints, which I got asked what I do for HIIT, because I said I didn't want to show you, and people asked me to show, and I was like, there's literally nothing to show. But I do HIIT twice a week, and what it is 5 sprints. I sprint all out with the resistance up on the spin bike for 15 seconds, and then slow and steady spin for 1 minute and 45 seconds, and I do that 5 times, twice a week. What is my current workout split? So I do back, chest and shoulders, legs, rest, shoulders and arms, legs, rest. And both of my leg days are glute and hamstring focused because my quads have a mind of their own right now. Favorite dessert while on prep? I honestly am not like a huge like dessert person. Like I don't go through the effort to like make prep friendly baked goods or anything like that. You guys have seen my full days of eating, so typically if my carbs are higher, I will make pancakes. If my carbs are a bit lower, which is, I mean, usually honestly, even on like my higher carb days, I love having my cream of rice that I put with Unico protein powder. And sometimes I'll put cheesecake sugar-free pudding mix, and then I put it in the fridge with legendary nut butter on top. What do I love most about competition? So I'm assuming this is asking what I like most about prep so far. And honestly, my favorite part so far, I'm like halfway through, which is freaking crazy. I think a lot of people say like, oh, watching your body change or pushing myself or whatever. And for me, yes, the challenge and pushing myself has been so cool. I would say I pushed myself a lot during my bulk in different ways, right? Both like physically and mentally and whatever. And I think both have their own challenges. I think for me, it's just been such a change of pace from what the past couple years have been. And anyone who knows me, if you know me, hey, but would say like before I even started prep, they're like, you're gonna fucking thrive. Because I am someone who, I operate best, I thrive when I have my nose to the freaking grindstone. And I found ways to do that while I was growing, whether that was focusing on a certain strength goal or whatever, needing to get my macros in, working on my business, etc. But when I am prepping, I think the days where I have like no energy and I like have to get cardio in and training in and all my client check-ins done and phone calls done, and I get to the end of the day and I'm like, but those are like my favorite days just because it's like, holy hell yeah, I did that, right? And I think there's something really cool too about having put in so much time and work towards something I'm so passionate about and seeing it come to fruition, if that's, I think that's a word, I don't know. But just seeing that it all paid off has been really, really cool. And just, like, I freaking built this, right? And, like, finally being able to put in the work after having wanted to prep for so long is just really, really cool. After this show, am I going to continue to compete? So, shows after this one. So I have a show October 6th and a show October 20th. The show October 20th is kind of tentative. I'll take you guys more through like my plans and stuff after show because I really don't know. I am competing at kind of a weird time, so if I do national shows next year, I'll have a pretty short off season, which is fine because my body had so much time to relax and like not be under the stress of prep and stuff. So I think like a 5-month off season would be fine. I took a lot of time to build what I have, so it really just depends on the judges' feedback on that one. It would be like a whole year and a half if I like waited this next season out. Then I'd have to requalify for national shows. So right now it's something I'm talking about with my coach just in terms of plans after this October 6th show. Okay, we're gonna do a couple more and then I have to get the show on the road. Periods and fitness. What could you be doing wrong and how to get it back? So I'm assuming, Sarah, that you don't have your period. I've actually talked to you a bit about this, I think. That you don't have your period and you want to make sure you're doing everything you can to get it back. And what I will say is a lot of people lose their period for different reasons, right? There's competing, where you are putting a lot of stress on your body from cardio and stuff like that. You are very lean and you are not eating a lot, right? So there's that. There's people who have histories of an eating disorder where, again, you were probably over-exercising, under-eating, and you're very lean. So the way to go about getting it back, and I've worked with a lot of clients who have gotten their periods back, is 1, making sure your intake is at a good spot. 2, not overdoing training. I rarely have people doing like much cardio if they need to get their period back. We're training 5 days a week. Doesn't mean you can't train hard, but you don't want to be doing like hours of cardio. You gotta have your intake at a good spot, and then you have to have your body fat at an appropriate level. Now, it doesn't mean that once you get to like a healthy weight, you're gonna get your period. For some people, it takes a lot of time. A lot of it depends on the duration that you were putting your body under that stress. So for someone who competes and just loses their period like the last month they're prepping or something, they'll probably get it back pretty fast. Someone who's had a bad eating disorder for years and hasn't gotten their period for years, it's gonna take a bit longer, right? So the main thing is just continuing to do what you need to do, continuing to relax and feed yourself and make sure that your body is at a healthy place, body fat wise. And that looks different for everyone. How many days a week do you train abs? Like 1 to 2, maybe. Am I nervous for my first show? Dude, every day closer I get, my heart rate goes up. So nervous. I'm so nervous. That's just me being honest. Like, I know that no matter what, I'm gonna be so proud when I step up there because I'm acting in a way every day that makes me proud and I'm working my ass off, quite literally. But of course I'm nervous that I'm gonna like eat shit or whatever, and I think it's really hard to having, like, I share everything, not everything, but like a lot on Instagram and social media and with you guys, and it's really hard also to have like a lot of people rooting for you, because it's at the end of the day, it's something I'm doing for myself. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it. If I didn't love doing it, I wouldn't do it. But there is like, oh my god, there's so many people's eyes on me, like expecting me to do well, and I think that that definitely adds to the nerves. But it's something that's like a me thing, so I have to work on that. Hannah, birthday cake or vanilla Unico protein? They're all out of the samples. They're both so good. I would say if you're just gonna get one and you can only get a tub and it's your first one, get the birthday cake because it's like the most unique. But the vanilla one literally tastes like a vanilla milkshake and the birthday cake tastes like funfetti cake batter. That is all. There's a lot of good ones, but we're just gonna do one more. And I am pushing it. Actually, we're gonna do 2 more. So, how did I get started coaching and how did I design my website? So, coaching literally kind of happened on accident. I wasn't one day like, I'm gonna be a full-time online coach. Reached out to me through like Instagram and whatnot asking for help, and I was like, sure, I'll help you. And like, I just did it for free because I loved it and I trusted myself. So that's how it started, and then people just started like finding out and like hearing about it, and more people started reaching out, and I was like, oh, I probably should charge for this because it's taking up a lot of time. And then kind of after it became more official and I was charging people to be coached by me, obviously like results speak for themselves and testimonials speak for themselves, and I had people kind of like clients shouting me out on their Instagram, and I had progress pictures to post, and it just kind of grew from there. And I am the most technologically challenged person in the world. So I have a company called Move Labs do my website, and they're freaking awesome. I'll link them below, and you can just tell them, I think you get a discount if you tell them that I sent you, but I just pay them a monthly fee, and like literally I email them anything and everything that I want them to change whenever, and they have it done within a few hours, like always. And I think they had my website from the time I contacted them and like sent them the pictures and stuff I wanted. It was like 48 hours until my website was live. So I freaking love them and I recommend them to anyone. Let's do last one. Wine or coffee? This is for my client, Janessa, so I will say coffee because I have gone 9 weeks without wine and I am alive. If you told me I couldn't have coffee, I probably wouldn't be. I need to get my show on the road. I have to leave like 5 minutes ago. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will post a second part to this Q&A right after this one. I'm going to try to record it tomorrow, and I will take you guys home with me. I'm going home to see my family Wednesday through Sunday. It's Monday today if I didn't say that. So I'll take you guys home, show you how I'm doing that. I will do a prep update, just like a physique update, whatever. And that's it. So as always, comment, share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see below. That's not a full day of eating because we've done so many of those. Hit the little bell that I don't know what side it's on so you don't miss another video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.